In the beginning of One Piece, Luffy declared that he would get the One Piece and become the king of the pirates, but he did not expect to hit a snag along his journey. Luffy and his Straw Hat crew were surrounded, staring down a marine officer and her 2 subordinates, waiting for them to leave port so she could arrest them and end his journey forever. But sails in a former foe and unlikely friend that came and changed the course of this whole situation. And for many of you, it's not Nico Robin. It is Juan Clay. Now, for those new fans of One Piece that probably got into it because of live action, you probably don't know who Juan Clay is. He's the bravest, most loyal, non-Straw Hat member there is. And yes, he wears a swan suit and makeup. Now, Juan Clay, formerly known as Mr. 2, was one of the top brass of the group Baraka Works. And you're not gonna see that till Alabasta. But he was a very unlikely friend the Straw Hat Pirates met, became friends with, and later on saves them. But we're gonna get into that. He partied with the Straw Hat members, but due to his allegiance to Crocodile and Crocodile's bigger plan, he had to go to battle with the Straw Hats. Again, like I said, foe and friend. So he battles with the Straw Hats, he goes toe-to-toe with Sanji, and ultimately he's defeated. Is that the last of Bon Clay? But to understand the magnitude of Bon Clay, you must understand the devil fruit that he ate that allowed him to save the Straw Hat Pirates. Bon Clay ate the main no Mi, which allows him to shapeshift his face. And due to that, when the Straw Hat Pirates were staring down Hina, the marine officer and her 2 subordinates, and were about to be apprehended and destroy their dreams, Bon Clay decided him and his crew would dress up like the Straw Hat Pirates and sacrifice themselves so the Straw Hat Pirates could get away. Now, this is not the last time Bon Clay would basically change the face of the pirate world and save the king of the pirates. But we'll get into that later. So after this point, Bon Clay gets apprehended and he gets sent to Impel Down. Luffy continues his journey, but a shocking development happened. His brother Ace is about to get executed, so Luffy has to infiltrate Impel Down and save his brother. Luffy ultimately uses Boa Hancock to sneak into Impel Down, but during his journey, he fights Marjolaine, a devil fruit user who uses poison, and Luffy is almost poisoned to death. In comes Bon Clay again. He takes Luffy's body, he treaches to the snow, and he finally brings him to Ivanko, who revitalized Luffy, and he's cheering Luffy on the whole time. This is the second time Bon Clay saved Luffy and allowed him to continue his journey. But again, it is not the last. Luffy is writhing in pain and had to take steroids to revive himself from this poison that he was ultimately inflicted by. It shortened his life, but he was willing to do whatever it takes to get there to save his brother. The only problem is that Impel Down is a fortress. It's only one way in and one way out. They end up finding a way to get on a boat and sailing to the gates of hell, but there was no way to open those gates. But there was one man who decided to stay behind and allow those gates to open. You guessed it, it was Bon Clay. Bon Clay decides to shapeshift into Marjolaine, act like he was him, and tell the staff to open the gates and let them through, which ultimately again sacrifices himself for Luffy and the Straw Hats, all their friends, to get out so they can meet up with Ace and save his life. Bon Clay stays behind, tells Luffy, "You're my friend and I want you to succeed." Some speculation is that he's still alive, but he fights Marjolaine and gets defeated, and literally is the reason why Luffy is able to continue his path to be the king of the pirates. And without the 3 crucial moments where Bon Clay saved Luffy or the Straw Hats in general, Luffy would never become king of the pirates. And if you're addicted to rum balls like I am, make sure you click the link below and subscribe to the channel. And also watch the next video that just popped up.